Hey guys, mystery boxes are fun, but sometimes the mystery part goes a little too far. Some kind of pop and some random t-shirt, but who knows what else? Heck, is the rest of the stuff even worth it? If you want a box that caters more to your liking, try Zanini Box. Pins, trading cards, that's it. No cheap add-ons or fillers, just pins and cards that are movie, video game, and comic book themed. With 7 choices of subscriptions, you can customize your experience with a little less mystery and a lot more of what you're paying for. Visit zaninibox.com to customize your subscription now, and you can enter the code CBU20 to take an extra 20% off your entire order and let them know that Professor Bill sent you.
Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. I brought a chillmonger.
Hi everyone. Hello there.
we're doing the Star Wars puns again.
General Chillmonger.
It's you again, you bastard! You killed my Velociraptor. That's actually what that big green thing was that he was riding. We're executing what? Executing Order 66. 31. I guess we should do that again when we get to episode 66, huh? Hmm. So, yeah, episode 31, man. Let's do this, baby. Shoot.
Let's execute.
Okay, well, probably not a good way to start. Not a good word to start things off because, yeah, what are we talking about first?
The first topic would be Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, let's just do a really quick rest in peace for my main man. Returned to the spirits, and yeah, it's now his time. But walking with his ancestors, man. That's sad. That just happened on Friday morning. A lot of us found out by Friday evening, I think. Yeah, I was actually offline and my wife called me. She's like, "Did you hear?" It's like, wait, what? Jumped on Twitter and it's all over the place. So, yeah. Yeesh. What time did you find out?
Friday night.
Friday night, about the same thing. Yeah, it's messed up. Anyway, Chadwick Boseman died 43 years old on Friday of colon cancer. Died on Jack Kirby's birthday. That's something else right there for you. Yeah, he played Jackie Robinson. That's actually the first time I ever saw Chadwick Boseman. And I didn't remember his name, but I remember watching the movie. I think it was called 42. If I remember correctly, that was it? Yeah. Okay, yeah, because that was Jackie Robinson's number. I remember seeing the movie, and I was just like, holy crap, man. Dude, this guy's a really good actor. Like, I'd love to watch his career as he, progresses. And guess what? He wound up becoming the king of freaking Wakanda. So there's that. Did you put anything on your Twitter or no?
I didn't mention it.
Did you do a video or anything like that on it? Nothing, right? Neither did I. Did you get hit for it?
I'm not sure what to say. I'm not sure how to.
Right?
And then the precedent that I set, like what is a significant death, what's not, it's Chadwick Boseman, right? Like he played Black Panther. I call myself Chillmonger. Like there is no YouTube channel called Chillmonger if I didn't have that movie and his contributions. So yeah, it's not like it's nothing to me, but it's also, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer.
Yeah, likewise. Like, I didn't know the man personally. I never got to shake his hand. I never met him. I never saw him across a crowded room or anything like that. But he was a hell of an actor, and he played a very, very important role. So there's that. No, I actually wound up getting some people complaining. Some people just asking questions, how come I didn't mention anything, whatever, because I wound up putting out 2 videos that I'd recorded before I learned of his death. But I probably wouldn't say anything about it anyway, because the video didn't have anything to do with that. And I'm not going to make an individual video about Chadwick Boseman because I feel like it would be profiting or trying to monetize someone's death, which is, who the hell am I? Yeah, as far as, like I don't put up BLM on my stuff or anything Black Lives Matter, just like I don't put anything like, support Native Americans, which actually hits closer to home for me directly. I just don't do stuff like that. I just want to talk comics.
Yeah, but if the indigenous voices comic comes up, then we'll talk about it. It just makes sense.
Well, yes, absolutely.
So it's not that you're shying away from things. It's just you're not including them where they don't matter. You're here to talk to me about Arrow issue number 10. You're not going to bring up, I don't know, Japan, but you'll talk about China.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just one of those things where it's like I don't feel that I don't fit into that culture. I don't want to fit into that culture where you have to black out your screen or your image on a certain day to show solidarity. No,
I
my
actually did that one.
solidarity. That's cool. That's cool. You know, I don't hold anything against you, but when there are people holding things against me, it's like maybe you don't know me. Maybe you've never seen a single one of my videos, but
You're
I
not doing
talk
enough.
about, apparently I'm not doing enough. You know what I'm saying? There's the guy who won't say anything about Black Lives Matter, won't actually go to a march. I've gone to a march, you know, won't say anything or
You've
do anything. Just
married a
whatever.
black life.
I married a black life, and I produced 2 half black lives, I guess. Which
Who's
together, I
coming
guess
at
they make
you?
a whole. Anyway,
Oh, God.
yeah, right? And yet there are people coming at me. It's like, you know, you don't put, you know, Black Lives Matter or hashtag BLM on your thing. I don't have to. I don't have to.
Same with
You
the
know what
Black
I'm saying?
Panther. Same with, you know,
Same
Wakanda
with the Black
Forever.
Panther. I will put my knowledge of the Black Panther against, listen to me close on this one, any single person on the face of this planet. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that there are a couple of people who would beat me in my knowledge of the Black Panther.
Christopher Priest.
He might, no guarantee that he will.
Because he probably isn't reading everything after him, right?
Yeah, it's more than that. It's just the idea. Like, does he actually know the whole history? Has he heard all the times that Stan Lee has talked about the character? Does he know what vibranium actually is? Does he know where the word Wakanda actually came from? Does he know all of these things? I don't know. I don't know. I know that he created a bunch of new things, and I follow those, and I know those things, and you know, I'm cool. I get it. You know what I'm saying? And I follow along with those. But like, as far as the love of the character, boom, we're good. As far as the love of Chadwick Boseman, yeah, I genuinely feel sorry for him. Well, for his family, I imagine that he is in a better place. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to monetize his death. I'm not going to try and, you know, earn brownie points by, you know, saying, you know, oh, Wakanda, hashtag Wakanda forever, and putting out a tweet or a video about, oh man, you know, I feel bad, and keep on looking at the numbers of people coming in. Like, that's just, to me, that's just dirty. And if somebody did that, that's cool, but that's just not who I am.
Yeah, it's cool if that's the way someone wants to grieve. If that's the relationship someone has with their audience, where whenever something happens, they get in the room, the chat room, and they're like, listen, guys, I can't believe that. Like, that's how they do it. I'm not one to do that often, go live, but yeah.
Yeah. But like, you know that there are also people out there who went live just to report the news. Oh, Chadwick Boseman just died. Oh man, I think about what he means to me. And they're just, we talked about this while we were preparing, you know, the stuff that we were going to talk about. You know, people who speak without anything of substance to speak about. Oh, he just meant so much. I mean, you think about all his accomplishments and, you know, all that he's done and all that he could have done. And like, the world really lost a lot of things. Okay. So out of everything that was just said, what did you actually say? Nothing. This is literally people saying nothing. So if somebody has something of substance to contribute to a conversation, by all means. But otherwise,
let's talk about colon cancer. Let's talk about preventing it. Let's make a positive out of the man's death.
That's a great idea.
And let's also respect the wishes of the post that his family put out. Something about respect our privacy during this difficult time. That's another one.
Yes. My wife actually called, because she's at a wedding right now. What do you call it? And she, you know, called me up right away. Like, can you talk? I was like, yeah, I can talk. She's like, oh my God, I think that you should do a thing on Comic Book University, because like nobody knows more about Black Panther than you. And bang, 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 bang. I was like, what am I going to add to the conversation? Chadwick Boseman died. I feel really bad for his family. You know what I'm saying? Like, he left people behind who are going to miss the hell out of him a lot more than I ever could. She's like, no, I'll do it with you. I'm like, I don't need you to do a video with me. I don't need to put a video out. There's no point. No, she's
your wife,
cool.
you didn't need her.
I don't need you, B. No, literally, it's like, and she understood. She knows who I am. 10 years together, she knows who I am. You know what I'm saying? I think that when she actually comes home and we get to talk about it and everything, it'll be more like, you know, she respects the idea of where I'm coming from on this and a lot of other, you know, subjects. It's just, like I said, I'm not out to get 1 million views, and I'm willing to do anything that there is to talk about it. Case in point, there are people who are trying to monetize his death. One of the people who's actually being attacked in this, do you know who Sean King is?
Yeah, I saw the emails he writes where it goes, hello friend, and then he'll write something about, like, recently something happened to Jacob Blake. But today it was recently Chadwick Boseman died. You know, you can't take life for granted. And then comes the rest of the part where he talks about my book is on sale for this.
Somebody asked me, how can I help? Some people ask me, how can I help, with such and such and such and making my voice heard and making my voice matter. Well, I actually explained all in 274 pages or 272 pages of my book where you can get at blah, 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 blah. And then when people say, dude, you're just trying to monetize his death. He's like, well, I don't make a single penny off of the book. I was given a contract to write a book. I made that money and I'm not making any more money off the book. Okay, well then why are you still advertising the book then? Are you contractually obligated to push the book like that hard? It's just, and like, I don't know Sean King. He's done a lot of positive things. He also takes credit for a lot of other people's stuff too. So he's a very controversial person, necessary to a conversation, but understand where the conversation is coming from and check his sources. And in this particular case, yeah, that just seems kind of dirty to me to advertise, to push your book by starting off the conversation talking about a man's death. Like, that's just not cool, So anyway, yeah. This is.
I'm unbothered by it. I'm still pro Sean King even after that one, because I understand that he does one daily and he changes a little bit of it every single day, and he wanted to talk about something that was relevant, and there he put that in, and yeah, it's to sell a book. But if the money is going to do positive things itself, it's like, I don't. Maybe mistake. We'll call it a mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. Because people make mistakes. It's part of the tenets of being human. We were created to be imperfectly perfect or perfectly imperfect creatures. Something that I say often. I still appreciate what Sean King does. Also, it's just it is what it is. Anyway, so yeah,
let's stop talking about racism.
That's just that.
How about She-Ra, Princess of Power live stream?
Well, there's some racism there. I love your segues, man. So She-Ra, Princesses of Power, I believe this was on Wednesday. They had a live stream. I went back.
Pause. I apologize. When is it too soon? When can we talk about Chadwick Boseman being recasted, the Black Panther being recasted to someone else? Now is not the time, correct?
Now is. Well, honestly, any time is the right time, depending on who you are. If you're the people who are in charge of making the movie. No, if you're one of the people in charge of making the movie, you're trying to put out the movie. Is the movie already written? Like, do you go and you talk with, I know his name, Ryan Coogler? Did I beat you on that one, or?
The lag may suggest something else, but I did say it before you said it to me.
Damn it. The lag to me said that I got it like I finished it just as you were starting it. Whatever. Who cares? Anyway, what do you call it? So anyway, yeah, bang. If you're them, like, mourn and then talk about it if you want. Like, that's the thing. What does too early mean? Everybody's different. It means
that it's insensitive. You just see the man as a role to you, which is also why we shouldn't be saying Wakanda forever when the man died. Chadwick Boseman did a lot of things.
Yeah, right. 42 forever. Like what? I don't know what. Didn't he also play Muhammad Ali? I forget.
That would be Will Smith.
I know Will Smith did. A few people have played Muhammad Ali, including Muhammad Ali. Anyway, he's played another important role too, and I can't remember who it was. But nonetheless, honestly, what does that mean? Because we're not all one group hive mind unless you're a part of a group hive mind, and I'm not. So I don't choose to talk about it right now. But at the same time, in my mind, it's like they're obviously going to have to, because the role is – I actually was talking about it in my live stream on Twitch that, they're going to have to recast him. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have to, because the role is bigger than the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the movie. It's too important, And I guess this just means that possibly Shuri is going to become the Black Panther that much faster now. So
no, they could say that during the 5 years of the blip, Shuri was the Panther the whole time, right? Yeah, and then you got a Black Panther. See, the thing is, the Black Panther with the suit, with the face covered, that's still going to look the same, right? It's just when he turns into T'Challa that we'll have a new actor playing him.
Ooh, I hope not, because I forget who originally drew her on the cover. He's a local guy, and he was responsible for doing the drawing for Doomsday Doomed. Superman Doomed. I know his name, and he comes to Gotham Central all the time, and he's amazing. What?
Ken Lashley.
Thank you, Ken Lashley. The dude's covers for Black Panther. I think it was volume 5. I think it was whatever it was, where she's the Black Panther and she's like leaning. She got the spear of Bashanga there and everything. Like, holy crap, that looked good. My wife still has that on her as her screensaver. You know what I'm saying, on her phone. So I mean, I'm saying. No, I want the costume to change just a little bit. I want to look more like that. But,
I'm saying the Black Panther role, like T'Challa, when we see him turn into the Black Panther, it will look the same as the previous 4 times he appeared in the MCU. It's just that when the face undigitizes, it's a new actor there. It's not going to be Chadwick Boseman anymore. So at least the transition will be easier. It ain't like a new James Bond.
Would it be wrong to say that when he comes back from the blip, that now he... because they also confirmed that Shuri was dead too, didn't they?
I know what you mean, yeah. In the promotional material, they put out faces in black and white, and it was like Spider-Man and Mantis, everyone who died, and one of them was Shuri. But then they put out faces with color. But that's
like, well, then who was in charge of Wakanda the whole time? Because that's kind of important.
Yeah,
I hope so. So here's the thing: when they do recast him, could they just say he came back from the City of the Dead? Like that's how we wound up coming back, and so
you pay no attention to it. You don't do like an Aunt Viv thing where
it's got to be explained.
Yeah, remember when Jazzy Jeff was like, "You looked a lot different," and then she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about," and then she was serving.
Everybody goes to Aunt Viv, man. But that's Fresh Prince of Bel-Air for anybody who's confused. So She-Ra, Princess of Power.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries. They did. I went back and I tried to find the whole live stream. I can't find it. I wound up finding another one that a bunch of them did with Mariko Tamaki, where they were just talking about LGBTQ characters and inspirations for all of the LGBTQ writers that are out there, like My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Writers and stuff like that. So, whatever. Like that was cool. It was good to listen to, and they really did touch on some important things that I never really would have considered. How retelling stories can be important as long as you're for the LGBTQ community to retell them with LGBTQ characters. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, love interests like that. I could see how that would. It's like it's going to make it more inclusive for that particular group. So awesome. You know what I'm saying? But they did one where there was apparently some insensitivity there. And I don't know how much I agree or disagree. I'm choosing to say that I don't know how I feel about it. There were some things said, and I seen some of the tweets and some clips videos, so not the whole thing, where they'll say things like, what the... Are they going to actually repeat the things? Whatever. Where they talk about how Bo is I think he was black in the show, and he's one of the only guys in the show. How, like his name was Bo, like a bow and arrow, and he used a bow, and it was very on point. It's like way too on the nose. Yeah. But apparently he had 17 brothers or 5 brothers or whatever, and they all had a bunch of different names, and they all rhymed with Bo, but they represented something about the character. So there was obviously Bo, who used the bow. There was
no means no.
That's interesting. There was Go.
Was there a ho?
Right? There was Go, like G-O-A-H. I think that's how you pronounce Vincent Van Gogh, and he was missing an ear. They're very on the mark, whatever the names one. And one of them, this one guy, the hell is this guy's name? Sam Szymanski. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a really weird name, but a real human being named Sam Szymanski comes up and he makes jokes about it. He's like, hey, which one of the brothers tilled the fields? His name was Sow, because you reap what you sow. Mm-hmm. So he sowed the fields. He tilled the fields. So a bunch of people during the live stream took that as racist because apparently, and again, I don't know, I'm not black myself. So, and my wife is actually African, not African American. So I don't know. You're right.
African American's a fake ass word. We need to stop saying that. Just say
right.
Black.
I say black. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. So she doesn't even really get too much of a say in it. Right. But apparently some people took offense to it and they said, having a black person who works in the fields is insensitive. And so I question that. So does that mean that black people aren't allowed to be farmers anymore? Because I don't know.
Is that another one? No. KNOW. Okay, I'm sorry.
What if it was? Enough with the puns. They did all these puns and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, these blow.
So what do you... Oh my God. Sometimes I wish you were a no-show. See what I did there?
Let my hair out or stole my fro.
Hey, there you go. So what do you think? Do you think that that's racist? Okay, the puns are really going to get old, man. The puns are really going to get old.
Nah, it's a 1 hour show. I don't see it. I don't see it. I think you're digging if you want to find some racism in that comment.
Yeah. See, that kind of sort of touches on something that I feel about racism. I'm doing air quotes here with one air quote. I feel that a lot of the people who find racist things in comments or pictures or depictions or whatever, a lot of those people, and I don't want to put a number on it, but a sizable portion of those people are actually racist themselves.
And they're letting it out.
Really? Like, and when I say racist, I mean like the term that as it's used today, like not just institutional, but more of the idea of if somebody says the term fried chicken, you know what I'm saying? I just went to KFC. I took my kids to KFC for the first time like a month ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Ago.
I hate you so much. And, like I didn't think for a moment, they were just like, oh, this is good. It didn't cross my mind for a moment. Oh, they're half black. That's why they like chicken so much. What if I got some watermelon with it? What they like to do? I like watermelon probably more than my wife does. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, are there actually people on this earth who don't like watermelon? That I think is an actual reasonable question to ask.
Yeah.
Watermelon's goddamn good, and it's very good for your eyes. It's better for your eyes than carrots. Yeah, it's just like it's the lipids in there. You know what I'm saying?
But not as good as avocado.
For your eyes, I don't know, man. I hate you so much. Your stupid puns. What do you go? You're gonna get Randy Orton punted pretty soon.
Maybe even an RKO.
Oh, God damn you! So. You're too good at these freaking dad jokes. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I personally didn't see anything racist in the idea that you've got 17 brothers and one of them happens to be a freaking farmer. I didn't see anything racist in it, but in this outrage culture, cancel culture, Noelle Stevens, who is Stevenson, whatever the hell her name is, Noelle Stevenson, she goes. She makes a response with people saying this. Hey, everyone, I made a very careless statement in repeating something that somebody else said. I made a very careless statement in today's stream that hurt a lot of black fans and fans of color. The implications did not occur to me, and that lapse in judgment is fully 100% on me. I apologize wholeheartedly, and I'm sorry for the hurt caused and trust lost.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I guess... Like, why do we have to apologize?
She didn't have to, but she chose to. That's great.
Yeah, I don't. It is what it is.
My intentions were not to do blank. I wasn't even thinking of blank. So if that came off and you thought it was bad, sorry. Like, that's beautiful.
Here, she also says, hi, I just want to say I'm so sorry for what I said. I effed up. This was the image I was referring to. An inside joke with a crew that I didn't think twice about. It was exceedingly careless, and I'm sorry for the hurt caused.
Okay, here's the thing with the hurt cause. Because you did it now with chicken and watermelon. She's doing it now by drawing attention to it. You're giving it oxygen. You are reinforcing the stereotype. Because I could have listened to episode 31 without the imagery of fried chicken and watermelons, but you did, even for you to disregard it. What's the word I'm looking for? To rebuke it, even though you're talking down on it. The fact that you mentioned it made it relevant for at least one more week in world history. It's better not to bring these things up, and then they go away. That's the Canadian mentality, right?
That is the
don't
Canadian.
Talk about the problem.
It's also the Morgan Freeman mentality.
Well, yeah, about the Black History Month thing. I'm with him with that.
Well, he's not just talking about Black History Month. He's talking in general. You don't call me a black man, I won't call you a white man. Don't talk about it and racism goes away. I don't think
That's
racism goes
very
away.
true. That's very true.
You really believe that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't believe that at all. I believe that, well, I do believe there has to be conversations. Again, I do believe that reparations are necessary. I don't know how that's going to look like.
Mhm.
I don't want to be the person who decides what reparations look like, but I
You can
genuinely
be.
believes why I can what?
You can be the person who decides. I'm nothing against that. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. If you want to do the right thing, I'm for you.
Well, I don't know what the black communities need. You know what I'm saying? So who am I to say, like, honestly, who would I be to put the edict out? This is what we're going to give you. What was promised was 40 acres and a mule. So maybe that's what, needs to be put out. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I literally look at it as they need to happen. I will 100% vote for that to happen. What it will look like, though, that's not in my hands. So it is what it is. That's for other people to take up that fight. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I look at it as some things do need to be talked about. Things do need to be addressed. The Canadian way is very, don't talk about it. And then it doesn't happen. But the problem is that it does happen. And now it's expected that you're not going to talk about it because you're wrong if you do talk about it. No, things have to be talked about.
Talking about it and doing something about it are two different things. If you want to end the injustice right away, I'm all for that. But if you want to talk about it, you're just like, you're giving it CPR basically. Just do it, end it. If you see an act, get in there, stop that act from happening ever again. Even if you got to knock a guy out, he'll stop doing it again.
That's my mentality.
All right.
Somebody says the N-word, bam! I'm suing. Go ahead. Chase me to find out who I am and just, speed walk away. They're going to be on wobbly knees. They can't follow me.
Only N-word I know is New Mutants.
There we go. So
film came out.
Okay. So unfortunately, there's some racism in this conversation also.
Really?
But we're going to get to that later. For now, you want to talk about
the trailer that came before the New Mutants film for Black Widow. Had a release date. It's actually coming out November 5th. It actually seems like
did it look like it filmed in Russia? Like there was a lot of snow? Because F you, man. Go on, sorry. I just cut you off and killed you.
Yeah, they had a lot of extra scenes, well, a few extra scenes. Okay. A lot more plot was added to the film. I have an understanding of it. I was cheering for Natasha Romanoff in Endgame. I cheer for her in all the films, and the fact that this will be her, I guess, redemption or her fixing, getting the red off of the ledger as they keep addressing in her films. I'm all for it, even if most of the movie happens in a time before Infinity War. Now, the way I worded that is not, this movie happens in 2016. I'm saying Black Widow will return because the soul for a soul, when Steve Rogers returns the stone, she's going to come back. He's going to give her the Avengers, like, time thing. She'll go back to the past to fix it. Like, I was supposed to come back to 2023, but I came back in 2016. Is it 2016? No, it's not. That was a decade ago. I already forgot how to say the dates.
Who cares? But
now that she knows who her father is and she knows all that stuff, then shoot, she's gonna be out here fixing it, and I'm all for it. It looked so good in that trailer, and then I actually watched the New Mutants film, and I remember that the budget for an MCU film is just next level. It feels entertaining, like the angles and everything that happens in an MCU film is so sick. Like they know what they're doing over there. And then I watched New Mutants and it feels like a small budget independent film where they're not even honoring comic book stuff. It was very strange. You guys know Lockheed, Katie Pryde's dragon? Not in this film.
Not in what film? New
Mutants, yeah.
I thought that Lockheed was in the movie.
Lockheed is in the movie, yes. He's in the movie New Mutants.
Well, first off, let's just knock this out really quick. So I saw somebody mention, I think I saw in a tweet or something like that, somebody said Natasha Romanoff was told who her father's name was by Loki in the original Avengers movie.
By Red Skull.
By Red Skull. That's what it was. And she was like, she didn't know who he was or something like that. So the idea that she would go back and know who her father is means, in my opinion, means if they're not screwing things up, that the movie would have to take place afterwards. So, yeah, interesting.
Ta-da!
Hey,
She calls her mother in the trailer. She calls her mother, what's her name? That woman, Rachel.
Oh, Rachel Weisz.
Weisz.
Yeah, I think it's Rachel Weisz.
You got that before I did, so.
Oh, I did. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So you actually saw the movie, liked it, didn't like it?
I'm thumbs down on it.
Thumbs down, yeah. And that seems to be the major overwhelming opinion on the movie. So anything else you want to say about the movie itself without, we're not going to do spoilers.
Yeah, it's hard to talk without spoilers. I mean, I guess talking about Lockheed sort of counts as a spoiler. I can say that all of the movie happens in that asylum/rehabilitation center.
Gotcha. So the trailer pretty much gave enough of it away.
Yeah, you know what's up. Yeah.
You said that it didn't follow the comic books. It didn't follow anything for the most part.
Wolfsbane and Danny Moonstar have a relationship with each other in the movie.
Yeah, which is not, again, making characters gay for the sake of making characters gay. Sure. Let's make a character black for the sake of making a character black. Let's make a character this and make a character that for the sake of this and that. Like, if it's not adding to the story, it just doesn't make sense.
Anya J. Taylor is an amazing actress.
Oh, who did she play?
She played Ilyana Rasputin.
Oh, okay. Yes. So she did a good job in the movie.
I liked it, yeah.
Okay.
There's one joke. There's like one joke where they're like, "Oh, she's so beautiful. I want to marry her." It came out of nowhere, but that was like the only joke they had the whole movie.
Oh wow!
They didn't plan any jokes. I don't know. There's a difference between, we don't want to copy the MCU, so we're not going to make it jokey. But throw a little something in there.
No, because that they were planning on canceling the movie or reshooting the whole movie a long time ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it was still under Fox, like before Disney bought Fox, they were expecting originally that the movie was going to follow suit with X-Men Apocalypse, that the X-Men were already going to be introduced. Storm was going to be in the movie in some fashion or another. That was like no secret. People knew about that.
There's remnants of that. Listen, guys, I'm going to talk about it because
just no spoilers.
Remember
right?
the post-credit scene of Age of Apocalypse?
Remind me.
It was the Essex Corporation.
Yes.
So that's
which we talked about. That was supposed to play out in the Gambit movie, which they wound up not making now.
Not just the Gambit movie, because it is mentioned in New Mutants. That's fair to say, right? I'm not giving too much, but it's as if there was some world building being done. I'll give them points for that.
Oh, you're hurting me, Bagel. When they realized the critical and financial failure of X-Men Apocalypse, they were like, scrub it. We can't connect New Mutants to that movie. We can't connect a movie to a failed movie. So no. At one point they said, the producers, the executive producers said, this movie was made so inexpensively that if we were to just reshoot the entire movie right now, it would still be the least expensive movie in the X-Men franchise. So that says a lot right there as far as the budget is concerned.
I thought that film made money. I thought it was good. Like, critically, it sucked, but it made its money.
X-Men Apocalypse?
Yeah.
In every way, shape, and form, that movie failed horribly. What do you call it? So what happens now? Anyway, so yeah, they were talking about for a long time that they went and they reshot a whole bunch of stuff. Like, everybody knows that they went and they didn't just do reshoots. They seriously reshot a lot of stuff, changed a lot of stuff, took a bunch of stuff out, put a bunch of new stuff in, and they changed the movie around a lot. You have something to add?
It had $543 million. That's how much it made, so that's good.
Is that what they wanted to make? What was the budget? What did they spend on the movie?
The budget was 178, and they made over 500. So it wasn't
that's the released budget. They don't include the marketing in the released budget. They're talking about whenever they say the budget.
Let's say the marketing is another 100 million. They still made their money back.
Who determines who makes their money back? Because
marketing
the producers
plus budget. Where else does the money go?
Well, so the profits, where do the profits go?
Where do they go?
They go to the executive producers and to other people who are in charge and whatnot.
Exactly.
So depending on how many of them there were, and how much time was invested, and how much money they put into the movie in the first place, how much ROI did they get? How much return on investment did they get? Because that's actually how these guys all determine if a movie was successful or not. Besides the critical acclaim or backlash, they determine by the finances. Did the executive producers make their money back? Can we tap these executive producers to put more money and time into the film? Did they feel like they got enough money back for what they put in? Because if you put
the answer is no to that. But let's not sit here pretending like it lost money the way Solo did.
It's okay. Well, that was even worse. But the idea is, if the executive producers are like, I'm not going to back another one of your movies, that is clearly considered a failure. So, yeah, there are levels of failure.
Yeah, when Days of Future Past did so much. And I don't want to put up those numbers. I don't remember. But look, when a movie fails, it doesn't mean stop there. Like, if you're actually doing a plan, just recast. Like for Captain Marvel, that movie was a critically successful. Mm-hmm. Money and everything was good, but fans didn't like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, because of that, they're just going to give a new director and a new spin on things. By the way, the directors of the old one are now directing Ms. Marvel. Ryan Fleck, Anna Bodek, those two, they're replacing Bisha K. Ali, and they're going to be writing and directing this new Ms. Marvel TV show. So good for continuity, I guess, but I don't know.
Possibly. I don't know. It depends.
It's good to have someone who had experience on Marvel earlier.
I don't know. If you didn't do a good job on a particular movie, it's like, that's the thing though. People fail upwards in Hollywood, and that's a shame. Also in business.
So you think they failed on Captain Marvel, the two directors? I
think that they failed to do what they were trying to do.
I think they executed what was supposed to be done, what was written on paper. Character who forgot her memory, make it about her, get a little emotional, and then she becomes super.
So here's the thing.
Not what I wanted, but it's what.
Yeah, exactly. Like so that's the thing. When a movie turns out to be bad, instead of just recasting, should you instead do what they were trying to do with the New Mutants and say, let's actually reapproach this from the beginning. When the X-Men franchise was, for the most part, the only players in town. They were the only franchise that was out there. They had all the movies and they could have intertwined them all and done all of that. Fox was the only real player in town. Sure, there was Sony, but it's like, what are they going to do? They're just going to keep on making Spider-Man. Who cares? They didn't think, and even Sony didn't think about the idea of making a whole franchise out of it. We'll just keep on using Spider-Man and a couple of different villains and blah, 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 blah. And it's the only game in town, When you go back and you look at a lot of those movies, do they hold up to what the MCU has been doing? And the answer is no. You know what I'm saying?
But they got those quotes. They got the quotes about the Toad and all that stuff. Was it getting struck by lightning?
Anyway, so like when you go back and you realize that these X-Men movies could have been a whole lot better if the MCU had done them. It's one of those things where you should probably step back and say, maybe we need to reapproach the whole entire thing. Maybe the Bryan Singer and the Simon Kinberg stuff, maybe and the Avi Arad stuff, maybe just walk it back a little bit and re-examine what we're doing.
I want to recognize that Kevin Feige was also part of those films, and he went on to make great films afterwards. So even in an experience where bad films came out, let's call them bad, you could learn from that. So the married couple of Anna Bodek and Ryan Fleck. You could,
but a lot of the stuff that he was recommending, he wasn't heard. Even when they did listen to him, they didn't really hear him. They just ignored him. You know what I'm saying? So it's not even necessarily about, what he learned. I'm sure he did learn some things from it. You can learn from failures. You know what I'm saying? But like it seemed like he already had a good take on what was up, When you have the X-Men Origins film, which was utterly not a good movie, but the scenes that they showed for the movie, the trailers, when you have he jumps out the water and he, and he does the scenes and stuff like that. We know that
Deadpool scene too.
Yeah, that too. when we have all of these scenes that look like they come straight out of the comic books. And we know that Kevin Feige snuck the comic books in for these guys to see. Ryan Reynolds didn't need that, but snuck those scenes in. And then the actors themselves had to say, can I actually have a scene where I get to do this and this and this? Because the directors of the movie and the writers of the movie didn't care about those scenes. That's one of those things where you see that Feige was a genius on top of and this is stuff that we've talked about in the podcast before. So, yeah.
We haven't talked about Kelly Marie Tran on the podcast before.
Wait, dude, you're going way too fast. I said there was a lot to talk about with the New Mutants.
Oh, go ahead.
One of them is that Henry Zaga wants to do a U.S. Avengers movie. Henry Zaga is the guy who played Sunspot. Like, he's already ready to jump on the U.S. Avengers and stuff like that. And good luck, buddy. Do you think that any of these guys are going to be recast? What about Magic? You think she'll be? Yeah,
let's keep her. If we can get one person, keep
her.
But,
if we're only going to keep one, we're going to keep her, right?
But yeah, the actress, but like actually give her a freaking, authentic story, backstory and stuff.
Mm-hmm. We're going to see how much you agree with somebody, one of the co-creators of the story. All right. So far, you're on par. How about? Do you think that he was Brazilian, or do you think that he was Brazilian, but he wasn't a black Brazilian?
That's true.
Do you think that matters?
For authenticity, yeah. Make the guy look like he looks in the comic.
There was a thing on my Facebook group, the Comic Book University Facebook group, where a couple people bring up he was Brazilian. That's good enough. Yeah, I'm not here to bash anybody, including my Facebook followers or anything like that, because we're all here to just give our opinions, whatever. And as long as you're not, hateful, then whatever. But I did see several comments, including one that said he's Brazilian, but he's not black enough. I think that, these conversations are becoming irrelevant, at some point, or they're already irrelevant. A lot of people talking about these kind of things, and I just kind of stayed away from this because I prefer to talk as opposed to type, And here's the thing. If Luke Cage is American, right? So does he have to be an African American? Can we just say that can we make him an Asian American and say it's good enough because at least he's American?
I wouldn't do that.
Right? Like, why would we do something like that? Meanwhile, in Brazil, it is known that there is, all over Latin America, we know that there is a lot of racism amongst the darker skinned people, and vice versa, with the lighter skinned people. We know that there is racism there as well, or anybody who actually cares to look it up. Or talk to people from, the area, even as far up as the Dominican Republic. There's racism in there with, the darker skinned people, as opposed to, it's like they're all Dominican, but that's only on paper, really, So I think that, and you seem to agree that, no, it's not enough to just have any old Brazilian. You can actually find a darker skinned Brazilian to accurately portray the role. Let's continue on.
Same with Domino. And I'm consistent with Commissioner Gordon being a different color. It's like, if he was this in the book, make it that way also. Agreed.
It is a visual medium, right? There's no need changing somebody's color for the sake of changing somebody's color, unless it's actually going to add to the story. It's something that you're actually doing to make the story your own, instead of, I decided to go with this guy. Why? Now they're just the token character. So Star Blue, who played Danny Moonstar.
Oh, her name is Star.
her name is Star Blue.
Cool.
She's mixed. She calls herself mixed race. Most of us Native Americans, most of us are not actually full-blooded anymore. It's just the way that it works. But there are still a lot of full-blooded natives. Like I've said many times before, my great-grandfather. So she wasn't
native enough?
Yeah, apparently to a bunch of people. She canceled her Twitter account because she got a lot of hate that she's not full-blooded native. Wow. I think she was also Navajo. I might be wrong on this, but I think that she was Navajo. So I wonder, is Star Blue Navajo or half Navajo, whatever? But she said it was really weird. She felt that it was, what was the word that she actually specifically used? She thought it was insane that it was mostly white people who complained about her being
yeah, that's
mixed.
How they are, man. Kamala Harris is getting that too, right? Like, she's not black enough or something?
Yeah, I've got plenty of problems with Kamala Harris, but none of it has to do with her ethnicity. If anything, I'm disappointed that when she was asked by Charlemagne the God, do you smoke weed? And she says, please, I'm Jamaican. It's like, okay, that's kind of wrong. So therefore, all Jamaicans smoke weed. That's what you're saying. That sometimes you could be racist to yourself. You know what I'm saying? By all
That is
means,
not that controversial, my friend.
I don't think that's necessarily controversial, but I think it is one of those things where it's like you are propagating a stereotype. You know what I'm saying? I've known plenty of Jamaicans who didn't smoke weed. Hey, I've known Jamaicans who don't have dreads.
Mm.
But anyway, just that's where she got a lot of that hate from.
Yeah, but the thing with white people is they're gonna say that shit because in the past they've always said that stuff. They've always tried to put you in your own racial box, and it's a form of them discriminating against you. But there's many ways to this that they're gonna do that. It's an old trick.
Not all white people, right?
Oh yeah, yes, that's right. Yeah, thank you. Not all white people. I enjoy the company of white people. You know, like it's not every single racist white person.
It's not every single racist white people, but some of the racist white people are good. Oh, you're burying yourself. Do you need a shovel, or you're doing good on your own?
You guys can decide whether you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel or not. I'm fine. I'm fine with standing with what I say. There's consequences to everything I say. And if it came out insensitive, it was not my intention. But
I would not hang out with you if I thought that you were racist. So yeah, there's that. And let's see. Okay, so now let's talk about co-creator of the original book, New Mutants graphic novel, Marvel graphic novel number 4, New Mutants. That was Chris Claremont and Bob McLeod.
That's the Demon Bear story, right?
No. That was the original introduction to most of the New Mutants. Like Karma actually appeared in a Marvel team up with Spider-Man first. That was her origin story with issue 4 of Marvel graphic novel.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the few graphic novels I don't own, because by the time I started recollecting, it turns out that they announced the movie. So suddenly the price went from like $30 up to $200, Canadian. I'm like, F you. I'm not paying that much. I'll wait until, the movie. I had a feeling that the movie wasn't going to be good. Just from everything that I saw, I had a feeling it wasn't going to be good. And moving on, I think the price is going to come down in a year or so.
And I just remembered this. Stan Lee was an executive producer. And I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for Chris Claremont or Bob McLeod or someone to also be mentioned there. And I didn't see it. I just saw Stan Lee because he's the celebrity guy.
We're going to be talking about that right now because Bob McLeod hated the movie. He found nothing positive about the movie. In fact, let me actually read his tweet. So he says, I was very excited when I heard they were making a New Mutants movie. I thought making it into a horror movie was perhaps an interesting idea, but not at all how the characters should be introduced to the public at large. But hey, my characters in a movie, I never thought that would actually happen. But then I was disappointed when they didn't give Danny Moonstar braids, although I like Blue Hunt. I was disappointed when Rain wasn't a redhead with spiky hair, although I adore Macy Williams. I was disappointed that Sam isn't tall and gawky, although I do like Charlie Heaton, who played Cannonball. Mainly, I was disappointed that Roberto isn't short and dark-skinned. Yet another example of Hollywood whitewashing. There's just no excuse. So basically, hashtag Josh Boone erased everything that I contributed to the way the characters look. And now, the movie has come out at last, and apparently they've credited someone named Bob McLeod, MacLeod. There's no A in his name. So he's pissed off at just this alone. So they've credited someone named Bob McLeod as co-creator. They couldn't even be bothered to check the spelling of my name sometime in the last 3 years, and that can't be fixed. That will be on the movie forever. I think I'm done with this movie.
Damn. No, now in the executive producer Stan Lee that I'm talking about, that was in the beginning of the movie when things were just flashing. Maybe the Bob McLeod thing happened at the end. McLeod.
Yeah, McLeod.
Oh man.
That is
no. His frustration with the way that these characters come out, it shows you the power of imagery, and that white supremacy is real. And they really tried to whitewash these things to, I guess, make it to norm. They're not trying to normalize different colors and different ethnicities and braided hair, and they're not trying to show you that diversity. They don't want that because they are trying to suppress good things. Like, I don't know, diversity. I don't want to be redundant, but like they're anti-diversity. The movie studios.
Oh, I don't think that they are.
They are very anti-diversity
Why?
because they're not embracing the cultures of these people. They're like,
Mm.
okay, fine, you can be Brazilian, but you're going to be the white version of Brazil.
So you're suggesting that they're doing the very minimal. They're doing the very minimal. It's like,
it ain't even minimal. No, it's like it's doing something different. You mean it's minimal because they're giving us Brazil, but they're giving us light Brazil.
Exactly. Yes. That's
I wouldn't
what
call
I'm
it
getting
minimal, but whatever we call it, they're doing bad.
So it's above minimal?
No, it's not above minimal. It's just different. It's an opposite. The opposite of dark skin is light skin.
Anyway, well, they made him Brazilian. So I look at it as they're just simply trying to do that bare minimum so they can say, oh, look, we addressed it. Look, Danny Moonstar, she's half native. So she's native. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to cry that she's not full native? But in that original story, have you ever read the first? No. Okay. At the very end of that book, I actually did a spotlight and story for that Marvel graphic novel. It's the only Marvel graphic novel I actually did so far, but I plan on doing a bunch more. Anyway, at the very end of that book, she actually went off and she changed her costume a little bit, and she told Professor X noticed, like, oh, I see you put some frills on your stuff and on your uniform, so it doesn't look dressed like the other New Mutants, the other members of your team. She's like, that's right, and I hope you don't have a problem with that because I'm going to do it anyway. I want to keep a little bit of my heritage here. And he was like, no, I actually love the idea that you're embracing and you're making your costume your own. So, yeah, just stuff like that, little stuff like that. It is one of the things where there has been some diversity in the comic books for a while, and they're taking parts of that out because they don't actually understand or care about these characters. That was a very, I don't even want to say racialized, but it was a very ethnic comic book. The New Mutants, when that came out, it was really good, and it represented a lot. You didn't usually get a guy who spoke with a Kentucky, Louisiana. I forget exactly where Cannonball is from.
Kentucky.
He is from Kentucky. Yeah, you didn't get too many people with that, coal miner type voice. You didn't get that very often, but like they actually tried to represent a lot of people in that comic book. I mean, it's the X-Men. That's what they're all about,
No,
so
trying to tell that to some fans over here. Can you imagine if Giant Size X-Men came out today? Oh, so they just replaced the original team, huh? Okay, check it out. We got all these characters, right? And we can't just have a normal white guy. Like, you got this guy named Logan, but he's from Canada. What's wrong with being in America, huh? Oh, we got this German guy, right? Except he's blue. What's so wrong with being white? And of course, they're gonna go to Africa and get, what's her name? Storm. Can you
Why
imagine?
She have blue eyes?
Yeah. You see this guy? You think he's white? Thunderbird? No. He's actually native. These guys are an SJW team. They knew they had to bring in Cyclops just so that we would all read the book.
Well,
That's the only reason.
There was Banshee.
No, there was Banshee, right?
No, I hear. Yeah, there's always going to be people who are going to like. There's outrage culture. That's what I'm talking about. There are people who are trying to find reasons to be outraged and to cancel whatever they possibly can. But at the same time, there's also Hollywood who, bare minimum, because they're not trying to take the spirit of the books. They're not trying to hire people who actually care about the books. They're just hiring people who's like, oh, people like comic book movies. Let's make a comic book movie. Which one? Who cares? So that's the thing that, as a comic book fan, deeply offends me. All right, now let's go on to what's the. Anyway, it's projected to make $7 to $10 million on this opening weekend. That's what New Mutants is expected to make.
I mean, yeah, the circumstances.
Exactly, the circumstances being what they are. So it's one of those things where it's like they have a smoke screen now. They'd be like, oh, well, I mean, look, it's COVID, or what are you going to do? So they have a smoke screen where they can give an excuse why it's not going to make that much money.
Raya and the Last Dragon. Kelly Marie Tran has finally been casted to do something. She'll be the first, I think it's an Asian princess, which is cool. Good for her. Right?
She was in the recent 2 Star Wars movies as Rose.
And
Rose Tico.
She received a whole lot of vitriol from the fans. a lot of it negative and unwarranted. But
Well, vitriol is always negative and unwarranted, but yeah.
that's the story there. I'm not interested in Disney princesses, but I want to give her some love because
Princess
they give me
Leia
love.
is a Disney princess now, ever since Disney bought her.
She is, isn't she?
She is. Padme is a Disney princess. I'm saying Disney princesses matter. All right. So no, I'm happy that she got recast in something. I'm glad some people saw some actual talent. She wasn't given a very, great script where she actually mattered in the final movie, especially. But in the other one, just whatever it is, what it is. I'm glad that she has an opportunity to actually do something. Is this movie going to be animated?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Okay, sticking with the Disney tradition. They'll do a
Animated
live action
first,
of
and then
that.
30 years later, you'll get the.
Exactly where I was going. That's hysterical.
What's happening with the Batman?
Oh, we're gonna get into that now? Okay. I'm not particularly look, there are a bunch of people who are calling me a hater for not enjoying what we saw with Batman, with the Batman movie. There was a trailer. Like there was a trailer put out where, yeah, in costume he looked pretty good. And then outside of the costume, Chris Gaines, if you're familiar with Rich Silva, one of the admins on my YouTube channel, he mentioned that he looks like Chris Gaines, who's actually the alternate personality of, for crying out loud, I know his name, country music singer. He got really popular with
Hannah
pop.
Montana?
It might have been that a different alter ego. Anyway, yeah, whatever. Just he just looks like an emo boy. He looks like a silly emo boy. This is the same stuff that we've been seeing all the time. When you want to get lazy and you want to just, do something that the chicks are gonna like, you go and you make him emo. You give him a lot of eyeliner and stuff like that. It's like this. Why? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? He clearly hasn't bulked. Somebody goes and mentions on my YouTube channel. I have the exact same posture. Well, I feel bad for you. If you have the same almost hunchback posture, bro, I genuinely feel sorry for you. He says he's a bodybuilder. That's cool. At one point in my life, I was a power lifter, and you have to have good posture when you're lifting weights. Otherwise, you do get that hunched look over you when you're not lifting weights the proper way. You have lifted weights, right?
Not really.
Oh, well, never mind. Screw you then. What do you call it? When you lift weights, you have to there's the 3 points. There's the back of your head. There's your neck bone here. I forget what it's called, but like the top, part there that juts out, and then your actual tailbone. And whenever you lift weights, you have to pretend that there's a broomstick touching all 3 of those points at the same time. Even when you're doing squats, you have to pretend that that's there the whole time to keep your posture right. Otherwise, you get that terrible posture. It's going to affect you when you're older, and it's going to make you look like a gook when you're freaking, nowadays. He just looked like such a freaking goof. He's just, it's like, come on, man. No, people look like that when they're sitting. No, they don't. Not unless they have bad posture. I don't want to hear it. I'm not interested. Dislike whatever the hell you want to dislike. Work on your posture, bro, because I don't know how old you are. You know what I'm saying? But you need to work on your posture if you have that same posture. Here's the thing about Batman. This is one of the oldest characters that there is. You know what I'm saying? And they've reworked him so many times. But I know that you're not a DC fan, so that's why I wanted to spring this on you right now. When you think of Batman, what do you think of?
I think of that black suit. Right?
Okay.
I think of a guy with no powers. I think of a guy who he's really Batman and Bruce Wayne is his alternate identity. Think of Fame and how he's the most popular character in comic book stores.
Yes.
Are you waiting for me to say something that I'm not saying? I'm not sure.
I'm waiting for you to just finish what you got to say. Like, I want to know, what do you think of the character of Batman?
Yeah, the character of Batman is intelligent, physically fit, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, because his belt can do anything. He's got a gadget on for everything.
Perfect. That too. What is the comic that he appeared in issue number 27, his first appearance? Do you know?
Detective Comics.
What's the key word on there besides comics?
DC
Detective.
presents. I don't
Detective,
know.
right?
Yeah.
He is the world's greatest detective.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a mix of Sherlock Holmes, a mix of the Lone Ranger, a mix of Zorro, a mix of the Shadow. You have all these, characters that, Batman drew inspiration from. He's the world's greatest detective. He's ridiculously intelligent. He is physically fit. He is the peak of what a human can be without, one, taking steroids, or two, taking a super soldier serum. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He's never been part of the Lazarus pit at all.
No, he's never. Not back then. No, not like his origins. He worked to physical perfection. He would stay up and he would only get like 2 hours of sleep. You know what I'm saying? Total. He eats a lot of cucumber sandwiches. Like, Batman is a lot of things.
Who
And
added that part?
I forget who the first person is who put that in. But anyway, Tom King definitely jumped on that a lot. But anyway, it's the idea that he's a lot of things. But what have we seen in most of the movies that are out nowadays? We've seen the camp. First off, there was the TV serial, the movie serial that came out, those 12 episodes, I think it was, that I don't think was done necessarily wrong. But then there was the 66 Batman that was very campy and whatnot. But then there was, realistically, like, taking the comics out of this, there was Michael Keaton. Did you ever see the Michael Keaton 1989 Batman?
I believe so, yeah.
Was there a whole lot of detective work in there?
I don't think so.
It really wasn't. There was a lot of beat the living crap out of people.
Yeah.
Hey, it was a good movie. I dug it. But then they went and they started making some more movies. They did the Christopher Nolan movies. I don't think there was anything in between. Saying there were 4 of those Batmans and they got more campy as time went on. Ending with, the Bat credit card and bat nipples and stuff like that. Anyway, then the Christopher Nolan movies came out. There was some detective work in there. He had to be really smart. He had to actually think and be perceptive about a couple things. He had to actually figure out a bunch of things, but he also beat up a bunch of people too, right? But towards the end, like the Dark Knight Rises, there was less detective work and more just beating the crap out of people. Now, like, they got the Batman vs Superman stuff and Suicide Squad, and I didn't see for the most part, aside from like the little thing where he goes and he's trying to, that really weird storyline where he's trying to find the device from Lex Luthor, but he doesn't realize that he can be heard. And it turns out that freaking Wonder Woman was smarter than him and a better detective apparently, and stole the stuff before him. And
that did happen,
got away.
didn't it?
It did happen.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, world's greatest detective, you got chunked by Wonder Woman. I'm sorry, that's terrible. That's terrible to me. So, like, where do we actually have a detective, the world's greatest detective? When the people who actually read the Batman comic books, they understand that there's a lot of factors that go into making a good Batman story. If you just have a story where you're beating the living crap out of people, people are going to stop reading the comic books. No, Batman has to be a whole lot more than that. But we just talked about how Hollywood doesn't really care about the characters that much, do they? Zack Snyder talked about, I don't think that Christopher Nolan went dark enough with them. Yeah, I want to have him like raped in prison. Like, I'm sorry. You like to think that you're an adult. You like to think that you're making movies for adults. No, you're making movies for weak-minded people who just only want visuals. They focus solely on visuals. Making the Dark Knight darker and making him more gritty and making him more violent and blah, 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 is focusing too much on one aspect of who the Batman character is. And it's very lazy. So, yeah, sure. He looked good in the Batman suit, which is something that and people don't understand. I think you were even like, no, he looked really good in the suit. And I just like washed over it. I'm like, I don't care how he looks in the suit. I don't care. There's so much more to Batman than just how he looks in a suit, or how he walks in the suit, or how he punches somebody in a suit. I know I only focused on the idea because that's the only thing that we saw. I only commented on what I saw. There are people who love trailers and they're just like, oh my God, this is going to be a great movie. And people bashing me and saying, oh, New Mutants is going to be one of the best movies out there. But where are these people now? Those people have already faded into the woodwork. And if they like the movie, I'm cool because it's a matter of opinion. It's cool. But when you're not following the source material, I genuinely have questions about why the movie was made in the first place. So when you just keep on making Batman, like it's a race. Who can make him darker and grittier?
Mhm.
That's not only who Batman is. That's not. There's so much more to Batman, and it's lazy to just make him darker and have him talk with a deeper voice and a more gritty voice. Let's make it so he's actually chewy, gargling nails when he talks. Let's just do that because that's Batman. Fuck you. Because no, Batman is a hell of a lot more than just dark and gritty. And if people can't see that, go and enjoy your movies. And I hope that the movie makes $100 million because you know what's going to happen if they do? They're going to make the next one even darker and to the point where you can't stand the movie. And they're never going to focus on him being a detective. They're never going to focus on anything else because there's a big difference between the comic book readers who have a monthly, sometimes weekly dose of a character. So they have to keep him relevant. And then there's once every 3 years or more, we'll put out a movie and he just has to be darker and grittier and hit people harder. And hey, we can make him kill because, well, I mean, that's how you're making him darker and grittier, right? So, yeah. As far as the fans who are upset at me because I was hating on the trailer, I stand by what I said. I'm not just doubling or tripling down. This is absolutely a hill. I am willing to, somebody's like, that's a hell of a hill to die on. First off, I don't die easily. And better people than the people talking in freaking chat comments with freaking, a letter or a fake face for an avatar and whatever their name is, not their real, you know what I'm saying?
No, their name is Snyder Cut Forever.
Right? Stuff like that. No. I show you my face, all right, on my YouTube channel and on Twitch and everything. I get up, you can hear my voice. I actually have a conversation. I'm willing to have a conversation with anybody about this stuff, but I'm not going to get in a freaking comment section or Twitter rant war with you and things like that. I'm not going to do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I actually care about these characters. I've read these characters. I know there's more to these characters than just making them darker and grittier, and it's childish. It's childish and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. If that's what you like, you're welcome to like something like that. But I don't have to. And I come from a different world than just watching a movie. So I'm willing to die on this hill. If someone's even willing to try and kill me on this freaking hill. Why would you try to kill me because of an opinion? Ugh.
Yeah. You got any more to let out?
God, I hate when you do that. Yeah. Let's move on.
Well, I mean, everything you're saying is your opinion, right? So I just got to respect it, which is kind of the whole point of of what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't have much to add to it. I want to get on my thing, but it's kind of a complaint. There's two things. Okay. Marvel just wants my money. I'm reading the November solicits.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Yes. There's a lot of books I'm going to drop because of this whole Ten of Swords. They just want my money. And I'm not going to do any Ten of Swords stuff. And if I feel bad about it in November, then that I didn't order all these books, we'll get there. But I don't
trade
think
paperback,
that's
baby.
The trade? Oh no, I'll just go to downtown because there's a big store there that always has extra books. So if I don't, if they sell out of in the store I usually go to. Now they have a book called Captain America, issue 25. It's 25. It'll be a $5 book. So as I'm reading the solicits, I'm like, I like to celebrate characters like this. Like Batman, I don't read him, but I know I got Detective Comics 1000. I got Action Comics 1000. I'll celebrate a character who's worth celebrating. So 25 of Captain America. Yeah, let's give 10 to Kisiko's my money. So I'm ready to commit to this, and I'm reading, and it goes something, 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 Captain America and the women he's with, the Sirens, whatever they're called.
Yeah, Ladies of Liberty or something like that.
Thank you. And then it says, plus an extra story by blah, blah, blah. Like, what? Plus an extra story? Oh, that's the way you're going to add an extra $1.
Yeah.
So really, this was just a regular issue of a comic book, and you're going to add a little extra story. Yeah. Guess who's not going to read issue 25? Me.
Me too. Me too. Again, I'm not reading the book anyway.
Now let's go to Wolverine. This guy's a
Okay.
popular character. He already has a reputation of just being put in books to increase sales and stuff. Well, there's one called Black, White, and Blood. Okay.
Okay.
Does this
So
have
kind of
anything
building off of the Harley Quinn Black, White, and Red.
Ooh, is that right? So in
Yes.
that book, is it also the
Yes.
only color is red?
The only color added to the black and white inks of the book is the color red. Yes. So they're just
With different
Marvel and
shades of
DC.
red.
Yeah, Marvel and DC are always comping. It's like, DC did something cool, Marvel's going to jump on it. Oh, Marvel did something cool, DC's going to jump on it. They always do that with each other.
You think it's cool though, huh? I think it's I'm not getting the full colors. I think by giving me one color of the 6, colors, primary, secondary, you're taking away from me an experience. I'd rather just get everything colored. You feel me?
We don't have anything wrestling this week, so I'm going to add something from wrestling because I was watching in AEW. How do you watch AEW? How do you watch AEW?
On a site I'm not supposed to advertise.
Oh, are you serious? Like that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Talk to me after this is done then. Because I am curious in watching that because I'm really liking what John Moxley is doing as of late. He just did this thing. I saw it on YouTube, the AEW website or YouTube channel put it out.
Contract signing?
Yes, the contract signing. You saw that? I thought that was really good. And he goes and he points out something that's very relevant to this conversation that you're having. You're taking away what's his thing? The even flow? And that's Raven. Whatever his
paradigm shift?
Paradigm shift. Yeah, you're taking away my finishing move in this. Yeah. So all you're really doing is you're forcing me to get creative. Yeah. How else can I hurt you or do things like this? So when you take away all the other colors except red, it kind of forces you to get a little creative with it. So I'm cool with it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my take on it.
Well, here's what you can do. You can tell the artist we're taking away all the colors except red, so get creative. And he gets creative. And then when it's time to color in the book, they actually do color in everything. We could have both. But everyone has different tastes. It's subjective. It's artwork. But I view it as I'm not getting the full experience. Now, does the colorist get paid like 1/6 of his pay?
Because you're only using one of the colors?
Yeah.
Well, back in the 4-dot colors, I guess that he would get 1/3 of the price. There was cyan, magenta, and there was one other, and then there was gray. So, black. So, anyway, so yeah, whatever.
So it's just them trying to get my money. Wolverine, he's the big character. Nothing even that's happening in the Wolverine Red, White, and Black, White, and Blood. Sorry, none of that is actually like in current Marvel. It's the stories from his past. So if you like reading stories from the past, that probably won't ever be mentioned. That Ben Bercy is not writing.
I did like Red, White, and Black, but that was also called Truth. That was the Black Captain America story, which is actually really good. The Bradley story. But I'm just filling in your flub there.
That's an interesting story. That's interesting.
Did you read it?
I saw videos on it, many videos on it.
Gotcha.
I don't think I read it because I had Marvel Unlimited when I first started reading comics, and I remember reading a whole bunch of things. So that may be one of the ones I skipped through. I know what happens.
Yeah. No, it was really good stuff. I loved it. I thought it was an amazing story. I remember reading it. It had to have been like 8 years ago. Had to have been. It was when I was on a vacation from Saudi, and I was in Canada on vacation. So that must have been my second vacation. I think that was my second. Yeah, I think that was my second trip. So I was already in Saudi for 2 years. So that would have been like 2013, I think. I don't know, something like that. But anyway, yeah.
He was at the Black Panther wedding, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He was with Battlestar, his nephew. So wow, nice how we just like tied everything together. So what else is there?
Headcanon. Let's end on some headcanon.
Okay.
In the latest issue of X-Men, Magneto and Illyana are talking, and he's like, "Where's Cyclops? Oh, he's on the moon. Cyclops is on the moon. Okay, enough said. It's up for Magneto to do this. He's the commander now. Except when they're trying to get Magma, they're like, yo, Esme, Mindy, get Magma on the line. And then we get to see Magma, and she's fighting. Behind her is Cyclops, Wolverine and Cyclops. Aren't they supposed to be on the moon, right? Like, what's going on? Why am I seeing a guy do eye blasts? Well, according to Chill's headcanon, that wasn't Cyclops. You know who that was? That was the Children of the Atom character who also wears a visor, putting in work.
No, this freaking guy.
You thought that it was Cyclops and you were wrong.
Was that this week?
That was this week's comic. Yep.
Which issue was that?
That was issue 11 of X-Men.
Oh,
And
that's X-Men issue
You'll
number
see the
11.
image of Magma. It's on the bottom. It's lower on the page. And you'll see that Magma was there talking to Mindy. Oh, I'm on the scene. Yeah, I can get a volcano started. You want iron? Sure. I can bring in the iron and you can cool it down with the power of Iceman. And all of a sudden, Magneto, yeah, I got you.
Son of a... He's right there.
Yeah, right on the left side, you'll see
He's
Cyclops. On the right side, you'll see
there.
Wolverine. But it's not Cyclops. It's the Children of the Atom.
Oh, that's just disgusting. I didn't even catch that, man.
Show it for the people watching the video.
Oh, I gotta find it again. That is freaking hysterical. So if you guys want to watch the video, it's like right there. You can see Cyclops right there.
But you see, it's not really drawing in with all its background material, right? It's just kind of a shadow, a silhouette of a character. It was a She-Cyclops.
She-Clops. That's great.
It's a good headcanon, huh?
Oh my god, that is freaking great. Yeah, man. I'm hugely disappointed.
Not if you use my headcanon. All you gotta do is apply headcanon.
This is true. This is true. Follow Chill's headcanon, then you can't go wrong. So anyways, there, my peeps, Comic Book University alumni, make sure that you're subscribing to Chillmonger as he does the Macarena. Macarena.
I don't know the words. It's like another language, isn't it?
She says, I. Oh. So anyway, we'll talk to y'all later. Professor Bill and Chillmonger, Comic Book University.
Class dismissed.